All right, here we go. Another week, another set of wins for the Trump economy. New numbers giving us new insight. Annual inflation, it cooled to 2.4% last month, down more than 0.5% compared to last year at the same time. That's pretty good. It's also close to the same rate on so-called Liberation Day last April. That was the day Trump announced tariffs and sparked hand-wringing from critics claiming the world would claiming the tariffs would send consumer prices through the roof. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt earlier this morning.
That is a remarkable turnaround in just a little over a year. We also see, as inflation has come down, wages have increased under this president. So Americans have more purchasing power, which is the greatest measure of affordability. President Trump has continually said the best is yet to come, and we believe we're continuing to head into an economic boom in 2026.
And more good news here with a rosy jobs report that beat expectations. 130,000 jobs added last month, with the unemployment rate falling now to 4.3%. Also this week, the Dow hit yet another intraday high, topping 50,500 points. Our senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy has more on all of this good news the White House must be loving this morning. Good morning, Peter.
Yes, Aisha, and this is happening about a week after President Trump was asked in an NBC interview when this stops being the Biden economy and starts being the Trump economy, and he said, "We're there now," and that is reflected in a statement from a White House official who tells us today's expectation-beating CPI report proves that President Trump has defeated Joe Biden's inflation crisis. Overall inflation fell, and real wages grew by $1,400 in President Trump's first year in office. With inflation now low and stable, America's economy is set to turbocharge even further through long overdue interest rate cuts from the Fed. But any inflation, still too much for some Democrats. Brendan Boyle, the congressman, writes, Donald Trump promised he would end inflation on day one. Today is day 389, and prices are higher than ever. Instead of keeping his promise, Trump has increased the costs Americans pay through his massive tariff taxes, the highest tariff since the Great Depression. Ordinary Americans simply can't afford Trump's reckless economic policies. Officials say they are pulling every lever they can, including with regulations like getting rid of that one that makes cars have a button to cut the engine at stop signs.
The largest act of deregulation, as you point out, $1.3 trillion of deregulatory relief for American families who want to go out and purchase a new vehicle. It will be over $2,400 more affordable. This is about promoting consumer choice.
And we do expect to hear from President Trump about this within the next hour or so when he jets off to Fort Bragg for a private meet and greet with some of the special operators who went and nabbed Maduro in the night earlier this year. Aisha?
Okay, we'll stay tuned for that. Peter Doocy live for us outside the White House. Thanks, Peter. Taylor Riggs, co-host of The Big Money Show on Fox Business, joins me now to break all of these numbers down and really what it means for Americans at home. We'll talk about the job numbers because they're really good, but I want to dig into this inflation report, the inflation rate that we saw come down, cooled off a little bit, and the wage growth. I think those 2 points are extremely important when it comes to an average American that just wants to feel like life is more affordable.
Yeah, absolutely. So the key from this administration, rightfully so, is to be focusing on wage growth, because let's be honest, since 2020, prices are still up 26%. So even though you and I sit here and we talk about the rate of inflation slowing, that sounds good for economics, but for the person sitting at home, they're thinking, that sounds like prices are still rising. They're just rising more slowly. And that's absolutely right. So what this administration rightfully is focusing on is wage growth. And that is where we are getting massive good news. Wages last month were up 0.4%. Prices are up 0.2%, which means your paycheck after inflation, more money in your pocketbook by double. 0.2% is the difference between those two. Since Inauguration Day, there's been great analysis on this. Wages are up 2%. Under Biden, remember, your wages had actually fallen 4%, adjusted for inflation. So you are actually about 2% richer right now since Inauguration Day, not Liberation Day. So that's good news for Americans who are just going to the grocery store every day.
And Taylor, we're also in the middle of tax season, so people are starting to get those refunds. And for a lot of Americans, they're going to be bigger this year just because of no taxes on tips, no taxes on no overtime. A bunch of other stuff in the big, beautiful bill is finally going to kick in, which is what the Treasury Secretary has been sort of, teasing for a while. The president has just wait for it. This economic boom is coming. Are we seeing signs? Are these the signs of this economic boom they're talking about?
Yes. So wage growth, productivity, AI helping to boost profits, which means these companies can reinvest in their employees, help build out data centers, which creates jobs. All of that is the Trump economy. And so I think with the increase in tax refunds, for example, that is just one data point that we have where Americans just want to feel like there is more money coming into their pocketbook. So that is a very good sign. The latest numbers we have from Atlanta Fed GDP show that the economy is on track to still grow about 3.7%. That number was 4 or 5% a couple weeks ago. It's a very volatile number. But again, for a $30 trillion economy, anything above a very sluggish 1.8 to 2%, which we had under Biden, is a very good sign.
Okay, one more thing on regulation. I think this is a very important one. The U.S. market wants to grow. It tends to grow if there's taxes are not too high, people have more money in their pockets, and regulation isn't out of control. And Peter just reported on the president's historic deregulation efforts alongside the EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. The New York Post actually out with their signature wordplay today, calling the president a man on a mission. Former President Barack Obama actually reacted to these rollbacks of his climate change regulations by saying this: we'll be less safe, less healthy, and less able to fight climate change. Also, the fossil fuel industry can make even more money. The Wall Street Journal editorial board, though, calls Trump's move a liberation and writes, cue the apocalyptic warnings unhinged from reality. What progressives really fear is that they won't be able to dictate the energy supplies, cars, and appliances that Americans can buy. Greenhouse gases aren't toxic and don't affect air quality. The real import of the Obama endangerment findings was to give the Obama and Biden teams legal license to mandate electric cars and force fossil fuel power plants to shut down. How do you see it? I mean, was it all just about shoving EVs down our throats?
Yes, because it wasn't the market dictating. It was being forced down from top down, telling consumers what they needed to buy instead of allowing the free market and consumers to tell you what we wanted. I am from California. Why don't we ask Obama and then, of course, Gavin Newsom how their constituents are doing with double the price of gas than everywhere else in the country, because Chevron has left the state and Valero is closing, yes, another refinery. So California's biggest import of oil comes from, you guessed it, Iraq, because they refuse to help their own people and drill and refine in the state. That doesn't sound any cleaner to me than anywhere else in the country. So if you want to import your oil from Iraq because you choose to not give your state constituents the best plan that they have and the choice, well, then that's on you. Good luck.
Yeah. Okay, Taylor Riggs, thank you for breaking down all those numbers for us. We appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.